Hello, people of YouTube. This is Gray's Guitars. I am Steve Gray. Thank you for watching. I decided to do a long video today because I did not do one yesterday. I was working with my new dresser and reorganizing and sorting and all of that fun stuff that comes with getting a new dresser because the old one, the top drawer just was a pile of garbage, didn't work, it was broken, and the bottom drawer was full of a bunch of random crap. So I was like, yeah, why not? Let's do a long video about the new Mike Dirnt Grabber G3 bass. So Epiphone unveils the new Mike Dirnt Grabber G3 bass. If you remember, I did do a video on the original Epiphone Grabber bass, so he has a Gibson one, but then he's pairing it with Epiphone because Gibson does not make them. They said they don't even have the equipment to make bolt-on neck guitars at their factory, which is why they are not currently making them. My thing was with the old grabber bass, and same with this one, I don't really consider it a grabber bass, maybe a ripper bass, because the grabber bass means you can grab the pickup and slide it up and down. That's why it was called the grabber. The ripper didn't do that, and here you go. We can actually even Google Gibson ripper bass, and you can see that. Yeah, so these, in my opinion, they are the grabber bass in name only. To me, these are basically ripper basses. But moving on, so Epiphone has launched the Mike Dirnt Grabber G3, a signature bass created in collaboration with legendary Green Day co-founder and bassist Mike Dirnt, which is interesting because he has been known for playing Squires in the past, and now we're going on to the Gibson side of thing. The modern revival of the legendary Gibson Grabber G3 plays homage to the instrument that helped shape the sound of punk's rock's explosion from the underground, including the iconic role in Green Day's landmark 1994 album, Dookie, which recently celebrated its 30th anniversary. Was there a Gibson G3 Grabber? I'm actually curious. I guess they did call it a grabber bass, did they? No, did they call it a grabber, or was it just the G3? That's interesting. I guess they're calling it a grabber G3. So we'll work with it. We'll work with it. But Mike Dirnt continues to perform his favorite beloved bass, most recently on Green Day's The Saviors World Tour in front of millions of fans. The Epiphone Mike Dirnt Grabber G3 is available worldwide in silver burst finish at authorized Epiphone dealers, Gibson Garage locations in London, Nashville, Epiphone.com. A natural finish is also available globally, exclusively through the Gibson Garage and online at Epiphone.com. So if you want the natural finish, you have to go to the website, which we will do. Known for his punchy bass lines, dynamic vocals, and electrifying stage presence, Dirnt has been a driving force behind one of music's most influential long-running bands. The new Grabber 3 reflects his legacy with a design that blends classic construction and modern performance features. Crafted with a double cutaway maple body and a 34-inch scale length, three-piece maple neck, the Grabber G3 offers smooth playability and solid resonance. Depending on the finish, available in silver burst or natural, players can choose between an ebony or maple fretboard. That's cool, ebony fretboard. Each adorned with black abalone dot inlays and 20 medium jumbo frets. The headstock features the classic Grabber V shape, paired with open gear bass tuners and historic clover buttons. A bow nut enhances resonance, with the Leoquan Badass 2 bridge delivers a powerful attack, sustain, and full adjustability. Strings run through the body and are anchored with ferrules on the back, contributing to the bass's rich tone and lasting sustain. At the heart of the Grabber 3 are three Gibson 3 pickups, handcrafted in Nashville, Tennessee, at the Gibson Pickup Shop, wired in a unique buck-and-a-half configuration. The pickups offer versatile humbucking combinations via a three-way toggle switch, neck and middle, all three engage or middle, and bridge along a master volume and tone control for a wide plethora of noise-free tones. The Epiphone Mike Dirnt Grabber bass arrives with a hard shell case, making it road-ready for studio sessions or global tours. Whether you're a die-hard Green Day fan or a bassist seeking a bold, versatile instrument, the Grabber 3 delivers the punch-style legacy of a punk rock legend. The Epiphone Mike Dirnt Grabber 3 bass carries a street price of 1,300 smackaroonies. Yup, you know I'm going to complain about the price. Epiphone Silver First finished mode is available worldwide, and natural finish is only available through Gibson Epiphone website. So let's just do a comparison to what Epiphone is currently offering with a grabber base, which is $1,000, which I still think is too much money. What's interesting is, are they saying that this is a maple body? Yes, so that's going to be a difference. So this is a maple body versus the $1,000 one, which is going to be an alder body, which is pretty interesting. Let's go down. I just want the specs at the moment. So the bridge, I believe, is also different. It's hard to see because they have the bridge cover on it, unfortunately. Is the ebony version, do they uncover it? No, they don't. Of course not. But, yeah, so that's going to be... So the body spec itself, starting... Well, we'll do spec to spec here. The body spec is maple versus ash, which is interesting. Going to the next specs, I bet you they're probably the same. Ebony, maple on natural finished model. So you can do ebony or maple. I think this is only maple. So the only option you have, I believe, on the original grabber is just maple. You don't have a choice. So 23-piece nut width 41. Let's go down here and take a look at this as well. Let's see. Fingerboard radius 12 inches. Fingerboard radius 12. Nut width. Is this telling us the nut width? Yeah, so the necks are pretty much the same exact thing in terms of scale length, everything like that. Now, in terms of electronics, you just have an Epiphone bass humbucker here, where you go to here, you're going to get the Gibson USA G3, which I don't even know if they are using that in anything right now. We can go ahead and look that up, Gibson USA G3 pickup, and see if that's in anything other than this bass. It doesn't seem like it. Yeah, so I'm going to go with no. Looks like the only way you can get this in a bass pickup is if you do this. So, maple body versus ash, Gibson pickups, or single coils, whatever you want to call them, versus one humbucker. Let's see. Then we also have the... I know it's a different... The bridge, which I don't know why we're not talking about it. Leo Quan Badass 2. And then let's see here. Hardware specs. Cast grabber 4-string with nickel cover. Now, is this string through? No, it is not. So that is another spec that some of you will want as well, being strung through the body versus bridge to the top. So there's actually, and I don't think this comes with a gig bag. Yeah, gig bag versus a hard shell case, which, let's go down. Yeah, nice Epiphone hard shell case there. So in terms of pricing comparison to the $1,000 grabber, this is definitely it. Where I would say if you're gonna go for that $1,000, you might as well spend the extra $300. Being that you get a maple body versus an alder body, which that's to each their own depending on that. You have the option of an ebony fretboard if you want it. You have Gibson pickups. You have the badass bridge. You have the hard shell case. So in terms of that, good job, Epiphone. I would say that $300 is well spent. But at the end of the day, how much does a Gibson grabber, like an actual Gibson grabber G3 cost? Like if I go to shopping and I want to buy one of these things used, are they like around the same price? Or because it's a G3, it's a little bit different? And yeah, $2,500, so half the price of a used one. Let's just do Gibson grabber in general and see what they're going for. Yeah, so half the price of a Gibson. But ultimately, it is not a Gibson, unfortunately. I am curious what the Epiphone grabbers are going for on the used market right now. Let's see if we can find any here, out of curiosity. Yeah, you got one right there for $700, so there's $300 loss. immediately after just, after selling it, unfortunately. So that is a factor too. Ebiphones this might hold value. The only thing is I could see this one holding more value than just a regular one, being that it is a signature. So in terms of value, comparing it to the original, yes, I would get this over the original. But at the same time, these were like cheap throwaway bases back in the day. You had people constantly breaking them on stage because that's what all the pawn shops had. They're supposed to be a beginner instrument, and they're marketing it as not. So I'm still going to complain about the price. But in terms of Gibson's pricing or Ebiphone's pricing, whatever you want to call it, it's in line. It's in line, and I would definitely grab this over the regular one if you're thinking about getting the regular one. So that's something to keep in mind too. I feel like because it's a maple body, though, one of the downsides is this might be heavy. Maple is typically heavier than alder, so that is a factor as well that you may or may not want to deal with. If you're lucky and you can find both of them in a shop somewhere and compare them side by side, by all means. But I can definitely see this being heavier than the original one. It also looks like they're using less wood, maybe 2-piece body versus a 3-piece, which that may be a factor for you as well. But it's a cool bass. Is it worth $1,300? Maybe to the right person. To me, no. No, I wouldn't pay $1,300 for this myself. I literally the Epiphone 59, so the one with the Gibson pickups right now. Keep in mind that's not a signature version, so it's not exactly apples to apples. But I can pick up a used one. It was $900 guitar brand new. I can pick up a used one for $300. So to me, it's just not worth it to buy a new Epiphone when you can, literally a lot of the times less than half. $300 off, $200 off, a used one that's in mint condition, that's a no-brainer to me. If I see one of these used for a decent price, I may grab it. But other than that, I don't foresee myself buying one of these brand new, but I never do. I don't buy new guitars ever, really, so you can't use me as a point of reference for that. 95% of the guitars I've bought are used. The only guitars that I ever got new was my first guitar, a double neck from Firefly, and a bucket head from Firefly. Only guitars that I ever bought brand new. Everything else has been used. So it's cool. I like it. As I said, in terms of Epiphone's current price point, it's right there. Definitely cheaper than buying a used vintage one, and the vintage one you're probably going to have a lot more problems with. May or may not, depends on what you get, who's selling it, all of that. But until next time, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, leave a like, share, comment, all that good stuff. And as always, have a good one.